Teaching is tough, but what if it could be faster, easier, and way more exciting? On this channel, we unlock the power of AI to revolutionize your classroom, saving you time, inspiring your students, and making teaching a blast. Let's get started.
All right, let's talk about ChatGPT. If you have not used ChatGPT before, I think you'll be really surprised at what this can do. ChatGPT is a large language model. It's an artificial intelligence that was developed by a company called OpenAI. And so if you will simply go to openai.com, you can set up an account. You can use ChatGPT for free. There is a paid version, and it offers a few more things that you can do with it. But I found you can do all sorts of things with simply the paid version of ChatGPT. So once you've got an account or once you've got it set up, there will be a message board where you can just talk to this large language model. Now, what I'm going to be showing you is what you can use this for as a teacher, what you can use it for as a school administrator, or anyone who's interested in using AI to accomplish a variety of different tasks. It is available, and I think you'll be truly astonished at some of the things that it can do. So let's get started here. I have a short presentation with some slides, and we're gonna start by saying how teachers are using ChatGPT. So I'm going to go through a lot of different scenarios. Again, you don't have to be a teacher to use it this way, but I think if you'll watch this video, you'll find several different things that you can use ChatGPT for. So it works best if you have some sort of engineering prompt, and there are a lot of different ones that are out there. One that I was introduced to recently is called the RACE model, R-A-C-E, and so briefly I'm going to go through the RACE model. And I may not use it on every scenario that we use here, but I think you'll see that it has a lot of value to it. So the R stands for role, so you're going to define your role. Define the role that you want the AI to take. So for example, you might say, act as if you are a high school teacher, or act as if you're an elementary teacher. The next one is the action. Clearly state the action or task. So you might say, act as if you are an elementary teacher and create a lesson plan. That would be the action. Then the C is context, so provide some necessary background details. And finally, execute, specify the format, tone, length of the output. You don't have to follow this model exactly. You really don't have to follow it at all. It just seems to work very well if you follow some sort of engineered prompt. So, for example, your role, act as a social media marketing expert. The action, write an engaging post to promote a school fundraiser. The context, it might be the fundraiser is for new sports equipment and will be held at Lincoln High School this Saturday at 3 p.m. And finally, execute. Keep it under 100 words. Make it fun. Make it family friendly. So those are just some examples that this person is telling the AI of what to do. So what did it do? It generated this. Join us this Saturday at 3 p.m. at Lincoln High School for a fun-filled fundraiser. Help us raise money for new sports equipment, food, games, and family fun await. Don't miss out. See you there. So what could have taken a person 10 minutes or 15 minutes to put together, ChatGPT was able to put it together very quickly. Now, maybe this wouldn't have taken you 10 minutes. I don't know. But you're going to find that this large language model, this artificial intelligence, will help you save tons and tons of time. So, again, the role, the action, the context, and then execute. Those are the things that you're going to be looking at. So, for example, ChatGPT can be used to create a lesson plan. Now, I haven't come up with any of these ahead of time. I'm just working kind of off the top of my head on a lot of this. So, for some of the things that it can generate detailed lesson plans, and we're going to give an example here. Create interactive activities. It can adapt lessons to align to standards, and there's all kinds of other things it can do, but the first part here would be a lesson plan. So, for example, let's go back. We're going to be looking at the role. Act as, what are you going to be acting as? Well, let's come up with, let's say, act as if you are a, let's say, junior high teacher with 20 years of experience. Okay? What is the action? Clearly state the action or task. Create a lesson plan. Now, let's say you teach science. Act as if you're a junior high science teacher. Create a lesson plan on the planets. Now it says provide necessary background details. The lesson plan needs to be for 2 class periods. There are 30 students in the class. And then execute. Specify the format, tone, length of the output. The lesson plan needs to be 1 page long, and the length of the output, the format, I don't know. I'm just going to say suitable for an evaluation. How about suitable for an evaluation in the state of Illinois? That's the state that I'm from. And I'm going to say, please align the lesson to the Illinois. No, I'm going to say to the next generation science standards. The next gen science standards. Okay, now watch how quickly it can do this. All right, it gives me a lesson plan exploring the planets of our solar system. It gives me day 1, introduce the solar system. Let's go back up a little bit. So it goes through the topic, the duration. It aligns it to the standards. So like middle school and elementary science standard 1 to 3, analyze and interpret data to determine scale properties of objects in the solar system. Well, that sounds interesting. Develop and use a model. Analyze and interpret data. So it is putting the science standards in with the lesson that it has created. And again, I didn't come up with this ahead of time. It's totally off the top of my head, but in middle school science, they probably teach about the planets. So the objective, by the end of the lesson, students will be able to, and it tells you exactly what it can do. It gives you the materials that you're going to need. Chart paper and markers, handouts, balloons, scissors and glue. These are all things that you probably have in your classroom or can get from someone else pretty easily. Computers or tablets, and then it says, if available, rulers or measuring tape. Tells you what to do. Tells you what to do on day 1. It tells you what to do on day 2. And it gives you extension activities. It gives you differentiation. It gives you a reflection activity. So all of that in just seconds when I press enter. All right, so that is one of the things that ChatGPT can do. It can help you with lesson plans. I would encourage you to go through and find what works for you. Think about your class. Think about lessons that you're wanting to do. Think about difficult concepts that students have a hard time understanding. Maybe you've done a lesson before and it's a little dry and you want to spice it up. You want something new for the topic that you're going to be covering. There are so many things that you can do with it. Okay, again, lesson planning, one of the best things to use ChatGPT for. Okay, the next one is writing prompts. Almost every class, you should have some sort of writing activity at some point throughout your unit that you're working on. It can provide engaging story starters. It can encourage creative thinking. It can develop prompts tailored to student interests. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the thread that I'm on with the lesson, and I'm going to say, create a short essay question that incorporates this entire lesson. And what does it say? Let's see. In just a moment, it's going to come up with an answer. Here's the essay question. It says, imagine you're an astronaut on a mission to visit each planet in our solar system. In your essay, describe each planet you visit, focusing on its key characteristics, such as size, temperature, atmosphere, and unique features. Explain the relative position of each planet in the solar system and how it feels to travel between them. Include details about how the solar system model you created in class help you understand the scale and distances between the planets. So there's an essay question in just no time at all. So again, writing prompts is another thing that you can do. All right, the next one is grading assistance. ChatGPT can offer constructive feedback on essays. Now, how does it do this? Well, I believe you could upload an essay to ChatGPT and ask it for help with it, but I don't know if you want to go to that much trouble, but you might go back to your essay and you might say something like this. For a student who does a good job on the essay, help me come up with 5 ways of giving the student praise. All right, let's see what it says. Here are 5 ways. So here's first example. You did an excellent job describing each planet with clear, accurate details. Your understanding of the characteristics is impressive. So that's something you could say to a student. I mean, sometimes teachers have a hard time coming up with the right words to say, right? The second one, encouraging growth. Your ability to connect the concepts from our class model to your essay shows real depth of understanding. Keep up the great work. So again, those are just some of the things that you could say. One that I thought of is, let's say you were doing the periodic table of the elements. Well, maybe you could ask it to create some responses and add a little bit of humor using the elements. All right, and so there's all sorts of corny jokes that chemistry teachers use with the different elements, and so it would probably incorporate some of those as well. So that's another example. Let me get back there. Okay, so again, offering grading assistance, highlighting areas for the improvement. Okay, the next one is differentiation. How can you differentiate? Because sometimes you have students in your class who are strong learners and others who need a little bit more help, right? Maybe their reading levels are a little bit different. So it says simplify content for struggling learners, enhance challenges for advanced students, and personalize materials for specific learning needs. So let's keep on with what we were working with here. So we had that essay. Let's do this. Let's say rewrite the essay at the 4th, or let's rewrite the essay question at the 4th grade reading level, because maybe you have a student in your class, even though they're in 7th grade, they're reading at the 4th grade level, and so you give them that essay question. They have trouble with writing the essay because they don't even understand the question. So how does the question now look if it's written at the 4th grade reading level? It says, imagine you're an astronaut visiting each planet in our solar system. Write about each planet you visit. That's quite a bit different. If you go back and compare what was given at the beginning versus this one, makes it a whole lot easier to read. Okay, so another thing you could do is, you can create stories. You can ask ChatGPT to write a story at the 11th grade reading level and then rewrite the story at the 5th grade reading level. And now you're giving the same story to different students in your class, but you're matching that reading level to those students. We might go through and do an example of that here in just a little bit. Okay, so again, differentiation, that's a great way to use ChatGPT. Okay, here's one that I really like, parent communication. We've all had that student in class who we need to inform their parent about what's happening, but you need to do so in kind of a nice way. So let's do something like this. Let's say, act as if you are a high school principal and you need to write a letter to a parent about a student who has been misbehaving at school. You want to be nice about it. Okay? The student's name is Johnny. Let's say Johnny was caught cheating in class. And I'm just going to say, help me write this in a professional way. All right, so let's see what it says. And it gives you an example of the context of what the letter may look like. It says, Dear parent, I hope this message finds you well. I'm reaching out to inform you of a concern regarding your son, Johnny. During a recent class, Johnny was caught engaging in academic dishonesty. Now, isn't that a better way of saying Johnny's a cheater, right? I mean, you don't want to tell the parent Johnny's a cheater or Johnny's a liar. So it says Johnny was caught engaging in academic dishonesty by attempting to cheat on an assignment. We take this matter seriously, as maintaining academic integrity is an important part of our school's values. While Johnny has shown a positive attitude in many aspects of his schoolwork, this behavior is something we want to address promptly. And it goes on and explains it, and you can pick out parts in there that you like and parts that you don't like, but it makes writing those difficult letters or having those difficult conversations so much easier, because it gives you the words that you can say. You can turn them around and make them your own words, change things that you want, but it can save you so much time and make things so much better. So you can also communicate progress effectively. You can provide consistent updates on student performance, and so much that you can do with the abilities that ChatGPT offers. Okay, another one is assessment creation. You can create quizzes and test questions, and this is absolutely spectacular. So let me give you an example. Okay, so let's just go back and let's say, act as if you are an expert on the Civil War. Write a short paper about the Civil War for high school students. Okay, so that's all I did. I didn't even go through all of the race model, but it's creating an entire paper about the Civil War. All right, key battles and turning points, the end of the war and the aftermath, how the war began, gives you a conclusion. You could ask it to provide more detail if you want it, but this is just a short little synopsis of the Civil War. All right, so what were we asking? We were talking about test questions. All right, so I'm going to say, using this article, create 5 fill-in-the-blank questions with answers. That's all I'm going to do. It's going to give me 5 fill-in-the-blank questions. It's going to tell me what the answer is. So number 2, the attack on blank in South Carolina marked the beginning of the Civil War in 1861. The answer is Fort Sumter. All right. You could ask it to, well, let's do this. Let's say provide 2 short answer questions and give me the answers. So next, very quickly, it's going to provide 2 quick short answer questions. So the first one, what's the significance of the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War? And it gives you the answer. The next question, how did the Civil War impact the South after the Union victory? That quick, that fast, you can generate. These can be bell ringers at the beginning of class. This could be an exit ticket at the end of class. This could be an extra credit project. All kinds of things that you can do with ChatGPT. It can help you find the answers. It can help you generate the content. Now, I would always go through and double check and make sure everything is written correctly. But when you need something fast, ChatGPT can create it for you very quickly. Get back to where it was. Okay, so again, assessment creation. All right, another one is rubric design. It will design a rubric for you. This is one of the most amazing things. So let's say I'm going to say I'm creating an essay on the Civil War. Provide a short, or I'm going to say create a simple essay grading rubric I can use. All right, let's see what it can do with this. All right, here is a simple grading rubric. Okay, so it gives me the criteria, thesis and argument, content accuracy, organization, analysis insight, grammar, length and clarity, and then it gives me excellence 4 points, good is 3 points, fair is 2, needs improvement is 1. Gives you a place to score it that quick. Now you may not want this to be your rubric, but now you have a table that you can go through and make it as you want. And so it's a lot easier to edit something than it is to create it from scratch. And so ChatGPT's rubric design, its ability to do this, can save you so much time. It can ensure clarity in the performance on the expectations. You could add state standards to this. So let's say you were getting evaluated by your administrator and you want to make sure you've got your state standards in there. Ask it to do it. It'll align them to your state standards. I mean, all administrators like to see rubrics, right, when they come in. This is an example that you can create one for just about any lesson that you're doing. Okay, the next one is student support. Here you can generate clear examples for difficult concepts. So, for example, I used to teach high school physics, and it seemed like every year when we talked about general relativity and special relativity, I kind of had to go back and relearn that again. I mean, those are not the easiest concepts to remember. So I'm going to say, act as if you are an expert in physics. And I'm going to say, create a simple analogy. Now, I'm going to say, create a simple explanation and give examples of the difference between special relativity and general relativity. Now let's see what it does. Okay, so it tells you special relativity. It was proposed by Albert Einstein in 1905. It deals with the relationship between space and time when objects are moving at constant speeds, especially those moving close to the speed of light. It gives you examples. It gives you an example of special relativity. Imagine two twins, Alice and Bob. Alice stays on Earth. Bob travels through space at nearly the speed of light. When Bob returns after the journey, he'll be younger than Alice because time passed more slowly for him when he was moving through space. Okay, again, that's an example of special relativity. General relativity deals with gravity and extends special relativity to include acceleration and describes how gravity affects the fabric of space-time, and it gives you an example. So I would go through that with my students. I might print that out because it's been a year since I've taught general relativity and special relativity, and make sure I didn't get the two mixed up. I explain it to the students. We go through examples, and hopefully it sticks better with them than it did with me, right? So, and when you teach physics, there's all kinds of different things that you talk about. So that's just one of them that for whatever reason I get mixed up if it's been a while since I've taught that. All right, so student support and teacher support, right? Answer student questions quickly and accurately, provide alternative explanations for better understanding. So if I wanted to, I could say, could you explain this concept to or I might say, how could you explain this concept to a group of 4th grade students? And we may not go through all of it, but it's going to give some examples, all right? It might say, imagine you and a friend. It says, let me go to it. It says, special relativity. Imagine you and a friend are playing a card game. Your friend is on a fast-moving spaceship, and you're standing still on Earth. You both have clocks. If your friend is moving really, really fast, their clock will tick slower than yours. This is called time dilation. So if your friend goes on a long trip in their spaceship and then comes back, you'll be younger, they will be younger than you, even though you're at the same age when they left. This happens because when you move super fast, time seems to slow down for you. All right, so that's just a really simple way of explaining special relativity. All right, the next one, and again, there's so many different ways, but you might use ChatGPT for professional development. So, for example, let's say I'm going to go to Google, google.com. All right, and I'm going to look for an article. Let's try something different. Article on let's say I'm looking for an article on diseases, or let's say disease prevention. Article on disease prevention. All right, so I'm going to look for. Okay, here it says. All right, this was from the Health Promotion health protection, and disease prevention. So I'm going to go to an article. I want to find a lengthy article. All right, so here is the article. This one's not super long, but I'm going to copy this whole article. I don't need the citations, but I'm going to copy the whole article and hit Control-C. Now I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, please summarize the following article in 100 words or less. And I'm going to paste that entire article in there. I don't have time to read that whole article, so I'm pasting it in here, and it tells me, it says public health focuses on promoting health, protecting populations, and preventing diseases through assessment, policy development, and assurance. And it goes through and it gives me a 100-word description of what that entire article was about. So is that helpful? Yeah, that could save you a lot of time if you were doing research, right? You could find several different articles, ask ChatGPT to summarize those articles for you, and that can help you with some of your professional development. Provide ideas for improving teaching, right? I could just go to ChatGPT and I could say, act like you're an expert in teaching computer science at the freshman level. And then I could come up with concepts and say, how do I teach this concept better? And it would give me examples, right? So it can make you a better teacher just by asking ChatGPT what some of the best teaching strategies are, or alternative ways of teaching a concept that students are having difficulty with, or that you're having difficulty finding ways to relate that subject to your students. Okay, classroom engagement. You can ask ChatGPT to design fun, interactive games, right? It could help you generate a Jeopardy game. It could help you come up with the questions. It could help you come up with debate topics for classroom discussions, right? You could say, I want to have a debate about this. We're finished with this lesson. What are some things my students can debate? It can help you develop simulations to immerse students in their learning, right? So all kinds of different things. Those are just some of the different things. Well, that's all for today. I hope you found some valuable ways to integrate ChatGPT into your classroom to save a little time and make your teaching more fun. If you have any questions or ideas on how you use ChatGPT, drop them in the comments below. Also, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, and share this video with a teacher that you know. Until next time, I'm Ryan Robinson, and I'll see you in the next class.